Okay, so there are 360 degrees in a full circle and 180 degrees in a half circle. Because half of 360 is 180, that makes sense, right? Okay, so what we're going to talk about now, we know what a degree is, okay? What our new thing we're learning is what a radian is. And a radian is a measure of a central angle whose arc length is equal to the radius of the circle. So if this is my radius, right here, I guess I should do to a different color so you can see it. Right here is my radius. Then I'm going to take that radius and I'm going to put it here, and that's the same, my arc length is the radius. Okay, that's called 1 radian. This gives me 1 radian. Okay, and so when you measure it that way, that divides my half circle into 3.14 radians, so pi radians. It works out no matter what my radius is. If I divide it that way, I get 3.14 radians. Kind of funky. So if my circle is really big and I take the radius and I flip it over on the outside of the circle, it takes 3.14 of those radiuses to get half a circle, no matter what size my circle is. Kind of cool, right? So that's where radian came from. And then of course 2 pi, so that's 1 pi, and 2 pi is all the way around. So okay, so for those of you guys going into Sec 3 next year or the year after, if you take Sec 3 your senior year, you'll do a lot more stuff with radians. But what we're going to do today is just convert from degrees to radians and radians to degrees. Okay, Jonathan, thank you for letting me know, honey. So it follows that from our 2 definitions that 180 degrees equals pi radians, right? So half a circle is 180 degrees in degrees right here. And half a circle here is pi radians. So 180 degrees equals pi radians. So to convert degrees to radians, I'm going to multiply by pi over 180. And to convert from radians to degrees, I'm going to multiply by 180 over pi. So that's all we're going to do. We're going to multiply by one of those 2 fractions, depending on what was given to me to start with. So I have, sorry, to convert to degrees, to convert, oh my gosh, I can't even read this morning. To convert 50 degrees to radians, I take my 50 degrees, and I multiply by here, pi over 180. Okay, so pi radians over 180. The degree signs cancel out. The zeros can cancel out. If you have any extra zeros on the end, the same amount of zeros on the top and the bottom can cancel out. And then I have left with 5 over 18, 5 over 18 pi, or 5 pi over 18. It doesn't matter. I can either write it this way is correct or this way. It doesn't matter. Either way is correct. Okay, and that's my answer, 5 pi over 18 radians. That's all I'm doing. I do have to simplify this. If this fraction could simplify, I would have to simplify it further, but nothing goes into 5 and 18. Okay, and then to do the opposite, I'm going to go backwards, 5 pi, oh my gosh, that's not a 5. 7 pi to 2 degrees. I'm going to take 7 pi radians and multiply by the opposite of that. So the opposite of this is, if I'm converting from degrees to radians to degrees, I'm going to multiply by 180 over pi. And why I do that is because then my pi and my radians cancel out, right? Pi goes away, radians go away, and I just take 7 times 180, and I get 1,260 degrees. Okay? So that's all we're going to do today. Just convert. So from degrees to radians, I'm going to multiply by, I'm going to take 43, and I'm going to multiply, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to multiply by pi over 180. Okay? 180 degrees. So my degree signs go away. And I'm going to rewrite this as 43 pi over 180. Then I need to see if I can simplify 43 over 180. And I don't think that, nothing goes into 43. So I think that 43 divided by 180 is as simple as it's going to get. But just let me double check. 43 divided by 180. Yeah, so that's as simple as it gets. So this one is done. There's nothing else I can do with that because 43 doesn't go into 180. Okay, so let's go to one that I have to do a little bit more work on, which is this one. So I'm still going to multiply by pi over 180 degrees. The degrees go away because I have a degree on the top and a degree on the bottom. And I get 315 pi divided by 180. Now, what goes into 315 and 180? Can anyone tell me what number goes into both of them?
315 and 180.
Yeah.
Divide by 5.
I can divide by 5. How do I know I can divide by 5?
Because one has the end number as 5 and then the other one has the end number as 6.
Yeah, good. Because this number ends in 0, and this one ends in 5. And so I know 5 goes into it. So I'm going to just take my calculator and go 315 divided by 5 equals 63. So I've got 63 pi. And then I'm going to take 180 and divide by 5, and I've got 36. And I think I can actually simplify further because I think that 9 goes into 63. Is that right? Yeah. And 9 goes into 36. So this time what I did is I divided by 5, and this time I'm going to divide by 9. So I should get 7 pi over 4. And that's my answer in radians. I'm going to just leave it like that, 7 pi divided by 4. Okay? In Delta Math, when you're doing your homework, you do have to get it down as low as possible. Okay? So you have to just keep simplifying down as low as you can until nothing else goes into both the top and the bottom. Okay? So C, doing the same thing. So I'm going to multiply by pi over 180. The degree signs go away. And I'm going to rewrite this as 472 pi divided by 180. So what goes into 472 and 180? Well, since they both end in, I'm going to go ahead and highlight this again. This ends in a 2 and this ends in a 0. I know I can divide by 2. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2 first. So 472 divided by 2 is 236 pi divided by half of 180 is 90. So I can still divide by, they're still even numbers, so I can still divide by 2 again. So divided by 2 should be 118 pi divided by 45. So what goes into 45, you guys? 5 and 9? Yeah, 5 times 9. So let's see if 118 can be divided by 9. Nope, it cannot be. So I think this is as low as we can get, and that's my answer. 118 pi divided by 45. Okay, questions? Okay, so I want you guys to go ahead and, I think there's, I'm like, why is there all letters here? So go ahead and try D and E on your own. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to multiply by pi over 180 degrees. So my degrees go away. And I get negative 65 pi over 180. I think I'm going to divide by 5. And, what do you know? 65 divided by 5 is 13. And 180 divided by 5 is 36. And that's it, because nothing goes into 13. 1 and 13, 13 doesn't go into 36. So negative 13 pi divided by 36. And then we've got this, I'm going to multiply by pi over negative 180 degrees. The degrees go away. And I'm going to, I get negative 186 pi divided by 180. And let's see. I can divide by 2. So 186 divided by 2. Oh, because I put 4 in. I was like, what the heck? 186 divided by 2 is 93. Divided by 45. And it looks like 3 goes into both of the... It's not 45. Oh, my Lanta. Half of 180 is not 45. It's 90. And then 3 goes into both of these. So that would be negative 31 pi over 30. Oh, divide by 3. Sorry. So there we go. Negative 31 divided by 30. Okay. He's not even paying attention to me today. Okay. Now we're going to convert to degrees. We're going to do the opposite. Okay. So I'm going to multiply by 180 divided by pi. This time my pi goes away. And what I'm doing is I'm multiplying 6 times 180. Oh, what the heck? 6 times 180. And I get 1,080 degrees. That's it. B says I'm still going to multiply by 180. So I just flip it. 180 degrees divided by pi. The pi's go away. The radians go away. And I get left with 1.3 times 180. 234 degrees. Questions? Okay, can I skip down to like F and G? So I'll do 2 of those ones with fractions in it. So I'm still multiplying by 180 divided by pi, right? My pi, those go away. So now I get left with 180 degrees divided by 8. So now I'm just going to do 180 divided by 8 is, oh, this calculator's so not going to do it correct. 22 point something. I did a different calculator. This one doesn't do decimals. That calculator doesn't do decimals, sorry. Clear. 180 divided by 8, 22 point, there we go, 22.5 degrees. I have lots of calculators. Some of them don't do decimals. So this one still 180 divided by pi. So the pi's go away and I get left with 3 times 180 divided by 4. Okay? So I'm going to do 3 times 180. Oh, I hate this calculator. 180 divided by 4. Put it in my calculator, get 135 degrees. Okay, I want you guys to try and work on some of the other ones. And none of you guys ever put answers in the chat box anymore. So 180 divided by pi. Cross that off. So I'm going to take, so it's going to become negative 2.7 times 180, which is going to equal, calculator please, 2.7 times 180, negative 486 degrees. Beautiful. Okay. So these two, D and E, are not the same. The difference between them is one has pi and one doesn't, right? So they're not the same. So I'm going to get different answers. I'm still going to multiply by 180 divided by pi. So my pi's go away, and I get 4 times 180 is going to equal 4 times 180, 720 degrees. Okay. And then on E, I'm going to multiply by 180, oh my gosh, divided by pi. And the radians go away. So this time I get 4 times 180 divided by pi. So that's going to be divided by, I wonder if I have a pi button on here. On my oh, there it is. Shift pi. 229.2 degrees. It's 0.18, so I just rounded to the first degree. So 229.2 degrees. Okay, let's see where we're, okay, here we go. And then again, I'm going to multiply by 180 divided by pi. The pi and the radians go away, so I get 5 times 180 divided by 6. 5 times 5 times, clear. 5 times 180 divided by 6 is 150 degrees. And then the last one, same thing. 180 divided by, oh, that is not 180. Oh, my Lanta. Thank you. 180 divided by pi is going to equal 12 times 180 divided by 7. Ooh, need a calculator that actually does 12 times 180.
That would be
0.6 degrees. Okay? So that is how you do that. You're either multiplying by 180 divided by pi or pi divided by 180. If I want radians, the pi is in the numerator. If I want degrees, my pi is in the denominator. And that's it. That's all. And the other difference is if I'm looking for radians, it has to stay in fraction form. If I want degrees, I can put it in decimal form. Okay? And that's about it. Okay? That's all there is to it.